Moses only went up to the borderland. So the law could not bring you into Canaan land, but it could expose your condemnation. It could expose the need of righteousness that you needed. It could show you from Mount Sinai with the lightnings and the thunderings, right? And the earthquake. That's what that voice of God is, that trumpet voice. It's exposing your need of righteousness. And he's calling from both heaven and earth. Remember, God is not just shaking earth, but when you have the both 7-branch candlestick now meeting and you have the 3 angels blasting into this swelling cry of his dominion, Joshua, who is a picture of Jesus, Yeshua, was able to take them from the border where Moshe or Moses can only take them to the law, can only take them to the border and see what they don't have. He went to Mount Nebo and saw what he's not going to get. Yeah, it was prophetic. So he dies there. Who is able to deliver them the rest of the way into the land to conquer? Yeshua, which means God saves, he rescues, he lifts you up and brings you out. So Jesus is representing this reality to bring us into the conquered lands. What's the first problem they're dealing with? Is Jericho with the trumpets. And he's saying, tear your walls down. Come out, surrender. Rahab the harlot who's in the wall opens up her window and lets out the umbilical cord and saying, okay, here's the exposure of my shame. Here's a picture of the flow of my blood coming out of me. Here's the picture of my issues. Here it is, all my nakedness. Here is my umbilical cord. Here is the thread of my guilt. And the acknowledgement of that was a sign of surrender. But there was a problem, and this is our problem today, and this is what I want to end upon. We love the Babylonian garments. We want to wear them. They're beautiful, and they're authoritarian, and they're glorious, and they give great self-importance. And then we also want the inheritance that came from Jericho. We wanted the gold and the silver. So we think that God can't see this stuff, or it doesn't matter, because we're going to hide them in our little tents, our little tabernacle, in our heart, in our soul, in the secret places of our being, in the innermost soul. We want to wear Babylonian garments. What's the difference between, and I'm just asking you, what's the difference between the white robes of the book of Revelation, the white robes that everyone wore on the Day of Atonement, the white robes that the bridegroom wore on the day of his wedding, that was a Day of Atonement? What's the difference between those robes and the Babylonian garments? What's the difference? What's desirable about Babylonian garments? What was so desirable about Babylonian garments for Gehazi, who was Elisha's servant? Why did he want these elaborate garments? Why was that so important to him? When the deal was, take nothing. Take nothing from was it Sennacherib? Who's the king? Remember that?
Yeah, it was not Naaman.
Naaman, right. Take nothing from that foreign king. Take nothing from Jericho. Take nothing from there. You're not supposed to have any of it. Remember that even Samuel told Saul about, where did he conquer? But it was a Amalekite king, right? Wasn't he supposed to finish out the Amalekites?
Yeah, I don't know if it was Amalekites, but I think it was definitely foreign king.
Or it's Agag, I believe. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Because the reality is what was it? Do a thorough work here. Take nothing from them, the inheritance. That's the point. And of this world, we are not to be secretly wanting the garb of this world. We can't love Mammon and God. We can't love the techniques and the tactics and the mentality and the attitudes of this world and still say, well, but I'm God's humble, exposed, broken child that is of his remnant, waiting upon him, the hidden virgin of God, hiding and abiding in Christ, who is my temple and my sanctuary. I'll allow myself to, what are the attributes of his people? How are they turning the other cheek? How are they allowing themselves to be defrauded and all this. I mean, there's ways to show that you're a hidden one in God. But we want to wear our Babylonian garments. We want to be proud and have our station. We still want the flesh, and we still want to just have all the radiance of our exterior armor and glory and beauty and importance and status, and on and on and on it goes. And I'm talking internal attitudes, folks. I'm not just talking about they got a good job. I'm not talking about your good job. I'm talking about the internal self. Babylonian garments.